I'm Fred Cunningham, and welcome to First Responder Friday on WSPA+. Every Friday on 7 News, we profile law enforcement officers, firefighters, EMS, 911 operators, and many other professionals in the Carolinas who respond in times of an emergency. Let's meet some of the people who have devoted their lives to service and run towards trouble when the rest of us are trying to get out of the way. Trip to the Great Smoky Mountains. It's also First Responder Friday. Officer Craig Cruz from the Pigeon Forge Police Department is here. First of all, thank you for being with us today.
It's good to be here.
You have an interesting place in which to work in that you've got a town of about, I think it's 6,000 residents.
That's
and
correct.
Yet it's also a place that can be 50,000 on almost any given day.
Yes.
How does your department manage that?
So, I mean, we stay busy. It's a busy town. We ask for patience when people come to town because of that, but public safety is our primary goal here, is to keep the public safe.
What do you think you want people to keep in mind when they come to Pigeon Forge to have a good, fun, and safe trip?
Yes, absolutely. That's the goal, is to have fun and be safe. So.
You also serve as the Pigeon Forge Police Department chaplain.
Yes, sir.
And tell us a little bit about that, because I know you certainly deal with some victims, but you also have to do a lot with your officers, because you see things that I know couldn't handle without the kind of training you have.
Absolutely. So being the chaplain is a very interesting position that I hold at the department. You see people at the worst of times, and the goal of a chaplain is just to be that shoulder to lean on during those tough times.
How about for those officers?
Same with officers. If we have an incident that's particularly hard, is just the same thing, to just kind of be there to debrief and talk about those things.
You obviously know a lot of people in the industry, obviously. Is this something that you're seeing more and more spreading across the country?
Yeah, and as far as chaplain,
yes.
Yes. So, and we've started a chaplain program where we actually brought on a couple of civilian chaplains as well. So, but yes, it's a need for sure.
Let me ask you one other thing.
Sure.
Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, you all get along really well. It's not a competition.
Absolutely. No, we work well together. We work close to each other.
And because you're all drawing visitors, so I would think that's absolutely vital.
Yes, it is.
All right. Officer Craig Cruz with the Pigeon Forge Police Department, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything you do.
Sure thing.
6:11 is the time. Our zip trip continues for fall for Greenville. It's also First Responder Friday. Kurt Brown is here. He's an operations supervisor with Greenville County EMS, 15 years with this organization. First of all, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And you, of course, are with a outfit that was named South Carolina's EMS System of the Year. I know that was a well-deserved honor. Just tell me just a little bit about what makes this group so special.
You know, the amount of work they do, the dedication and the professionalism. It's a pretty large organization, and they answer every call, every 911 call in Greenville County.
Let's talk about those 911 operators.
Mm-hmm.
They are the first responders. Tell me about that group, because they have such a busy time. A lot of times they don't even know what happens to the call that they dispatch you.
Exactly. They take all the calls and they dispatch us to those calls. They have to give instructions over the phone, and they give us updates through our MCT, and they're the first ones everybody talks to.
What about this job that got you interested and took you down this career path?
I was always interested in it, and then when I moved down here, saw that Greenville Tech had a EMT and paramedic program. My first ride time, I just got hooked. On it.
If somebody gets that same kind of idea, what should they do if they'd like to join Greenville County EMS?
Do research. We have an in-service academy, EMT academy, and they can do citizen ride-alongs, see if they'll be interested in the field.
That's terrific, and they can go through this program and maybe be it's either a number of weeks or maybe even a year and a half before they'll be completely qualified.
EMT is about 10 to 12 weeks,
okay.
And then they do 3 months on the truck, and then they can go on in-house paramedic, which is about a year and a half.
Harrison's is our partners here on First Responder Friday. Kevin Harrison is here.
And Kurt, we just want to thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do. Greenville County is a huge county, and you guys are the very first people that come whenever things are going really bad for people. So thank you guys for your service and what you do. On behalf of Harrison's, our 6 locations, 2 here in the upstate, 1 in Malden, 1 in Spartanburg, we just want to give you a small token of our appreciation for what you do and the way you represent our county so well. Everybody in this community is so thankful for you and all your colleagues that keep us all safe.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks. All right, Kevin, Kurt, thank you so much, and that is First Responder Friday.
I think All of us have a little bit of an adrenaline junkie in us. We get in the trucks and the sirens are going and we're flying down the road. We get pretty excited on the ways to calls.
Amber Altier has been on this road for a while with the Greer Fire Department, but it started when she was much younger with her stepfather.
We really bonded over horror movies like very quickly, and we still do. We go see all the new horror movies together. And Scream is my favorite, so we went to a tattoo convention and we just spur of the moment were like, we love Scream, we watch Scream together every year, let's get Scream tattoos.
And they did, matching tattoos in fact. But the journey to making those adrenaline rushes a full-time career took a different path.
I applied at Bonds and I put welding or firefighting, and I didn't get welding, and I was like, well, this is the plan now, it's gonna be great.
The idea made sense. Her grandfather was a firefighter and police officer for 25 years.
My mom didn't want me to do it at first. She was a little scared. She's fully on board now. My granddad tried to talk me out of it too. He was like, are you sure you want to do this? And I was like, yeah. And my dad was like, loved it.
Altier loved it too, but it's a job that comes with its own challenges.
It wasn't really that a woman can't do this job. It's a woman has to do it a little bit differently. We're not as brute and strong as some of the guys are here. So we really have to hone on our technique, moving these hoses around or doing victim pulls instead of just using brute force.
But between firefighting and scary movies, Altier has found something to bring some calm to her life.
My grandma crochets, and I was like, this is easy, I can do it. Watched a YouTube tutorial, did it on my first try. My mom is amazed by it, and now I just keep doing it. I do a baby blanket for every new baby that's born here. Since I started, I'm working hard on that one. We have so many kids. When I think about the future, I think about like having a family. It's kind of difficult for a woman to do that in the firefighting field, just because when you are pregnant, you miss so much work, and getting back is difficult after being off for so long. So I definitely want to do this for a little while longer.
Harrisons are our partners on First Responder Friday, and Kevin Harrison is here.
Amber, on behalf of Harrison's, our entire community, we just want to thank you for your service, for keeping everyone safe, and just thank you for what all the men and women here in Greer do. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that is First Responder Friday. As you can see, these stories are just a way for us to say thank you to the men and women who are our local first responders. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, more of the people and stories that make up First Responder Friday. Welcome back to 7 News First Responder Friday, right here on WSPA+. We'll continue now with the stories of our brave local first responders and how they serve our communities. Take a look.
Hey, friends, go say good morning. Say good morning.
Say hello to Wyatt, and you might as well, because this golden doodle gets lots of those greetings every day in Pickens County.
I make jokes all the time that even as a captain, Wyatt has more appointments on my calendar than I do for myself.
Wyatt is the sheriff's office therapy dog, and if you get the impression he owns the place, you'd be right.
He has treats everywhere, not just in this building, but in the courthouse, the county administration building, the tax office, just about everywhere we go.
And that includes Sheriff Tommy Blankenship's office.
He is that calming presence. And the idea is that it's a service, right? The sheriff's office exists to serve the citizens. So it's not just about us making arrests.
Wyatt and Captain Ellenberg have been busy in recent months. They were on the front lines during Helene. And more recently, they were waiting for crews when they came back from battling the Table Rock wildfire.
Wyatt and I were there all but one day for basically 14 to 16-hour days, and he would just run around the command post and let the firefighters and all the different personnel that were there love on him.
They would come in, and even if their hands were full of their gear, they would drop it, they would sit down on the ground, and they would pet Wyatt. And you could just see the weight and the stress of what they were dealing with was lifted for that moment.
Wyatt is known as the weightlifter.
I would carry him out to the gym to desensitize him to loud noises. And for whatever reason, one day while I was, throwing weights around and desensitizing him, I thought, the weightlifter. He lifts the emotional weights off of people.
Wyatt is 2 years old and is a trained therapy dog, but he seems like a natural for the job.
I can't take a lot of credit for how well behaved he is, because I really ended up with a dog that already had a really great personality. Come here. And everybody wants to know, is Wyatt coming tomorrow? Is Wyatt coming tomorrow? So he's just been a major asset to our first responder community here. I've even had people break down in tears and say, I can't believe that he understands that I need him right this second.
And that's First Responder Friday. Deputy William Ricketts is a pilot for the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office. Here's when he says he knew his career was ready for takeoff.
So when Top Gun first came out, we left the movie. My parents asked me what I thought about it, and I told them that's what I wanted to do when I grew up.
Top Gun drew Ricketts to the role of a real-life goose. He was a backseater, the weapons control officer aboard FA-18Fs.
I'll never forget my first flight in the Super Hornet. It was amazing. Something that, you know, you dream of and it happens. And then my first carrier landing, absolutely scared, excited, nervous at the same time, but it was amazing.
And a real Navy cockpit involves more than just buzzing the tower and playing beach volleyball.
You're always constantly studying, whether it's tactics, whether it's just being a better aviator, a lot of hard work, a lot of learning to think fast, and just adapt to the continuing environment that changes constantly.
Then, after 11 years, he pulled another maneuver.
Always wanted to be a fighter pilot. Ended up being a weapons systems officer in the back seat, you know, but I always wanted to be a police officer.
Law enforcement took him to the skies over the Midlands, the Low Country, and now Spartanburg County.
So we'll respond to calls for service if we're not up already doing a patrol flight. And any of the guys, the patrol officers, any of our divisions that are on the ground working things, we'll go over and assist them for suspects that might run, flee. If there are vehicle pursuits, we can follow and look for those people.
Moving from Navy jets to Sheriff's Office helicopters, it's an entirely different kind of flying, altogether.
It's lower, it's a lot slower, but it's amazing.
And that's First Responder Friday. Our zip trip to the Great Smoky Mountains continues. It's also First Responder Friday. We're joined by Chris Joyner, spokesperson for the United States Forest Service. First of all, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
You had a situation here 8 years ago, back in 2016. It was a horrific wildfire in this area. We've got some video that just showed just how frightening it was. Can you, in perspective, how big of an undertaking it was to get that thing under control?
So that fire really came pretty close there, and I want to be clear, I was not a wildland firefighter for that particular fire, but the fire came very close to where we're at here at Dollywood, and if you come to this area, you can still see what we call the bones of the fire. You can see some, specifically if you're heading to Gatlinburg from Dollywood, you can see where the fire crossed the road and came down. A lot of times what we'll use is roads as places where we can set up containment lines, and you can clearly see where that happened at a few places where the wildland firefighters for that particular fire use roads as containment lines to be able to keep the fire from moving into areas.
You mentioned you can still see the bones of that fire. You've just been recently out west. You were fighting a fire or out for a situation in Idaho, but you were telling me that there's a real difference in recovery time perhaps between this part of the country and out west.
Sure. So out west, in the arid west, you really see a lot of remnants of wildland fires. You can go to areas that 60 and 70 years prior there was a big fire and still see the bones of it. And the trees, some of them would be still standing dead from those fires. I can think of several that the fire burned through, and those remnants are still there. Here we have a very fire resilient landscape that once the fire comes through, we see a lot of rebuilding of the vegetation really quickly. I mean, we get 50-some inches of rain a year. Arid West might get somewhere between 9 to 20 at best. Yeah. And so it takes a very long time, but here we have pretty quick repair.
All right, well, Chris Joyner with the United States Forest Service, thanks for being here. Stick around for our next hour because we want to talk about some of the equipment you use to fight these fires, including a fascinating story about the #1 piece of equipment you use. We're so happy you're with us today. Thanks for everything you do.
Yes, sir, appreciate it.
All right. We're going to take a short break from our stories of these amazing heroes. Stick around for more First Responder Friday right here on WSPA Plus. It's a privilege and an honor to get the opportunity to bring you these stories of our local heroes, those who choose to put their lives on the line or simply choose to be there for us when we need them most. Here are some more stories from our First Responder Fridays.
Christopher Hodges grew up in Anderson, wanting to be just like his older brother, Devin.
You know, I've always looked up to him, you know, whatever he done, I kind of followed in his footsteps, you know, firefighting, roll on with EMS for a while.
When Devin joined the Anderson County Sheriff's Office, Christopher had the same idea.
I had an application to start the Sheriff's Office, but I never turned it in. Then, unfortunately, 2017 happened.
On June 1st, 2017, Deputy Devin Hodges died in a boating incident during training on Lake Hartwell.
Yeah, he ended up passing. And from that point until we got to the hospital, I don't remember nothing. I was focused, I was in the zone, I was upset, I was angry.
That tough day and the loss of his brother convinced Christopher to do something.
I turned in my application and I started here at the jail.
And he found a home at the Sheriff's Office Detention Center.
Everybody, you know, kind of wants to go toward the roadside, but the jail is a wonderful place. So after working here for a while, I was like, you know what, I like it here.
And he's following his brother in a different way. Christopher is part of the Sheriff's Office dive team, but it turned out working outdoors wasn't his #1 passion.
When I was in landscape, I wasn't used to working inside doors. So I was like, I don't know how I feel about working inside.
Hodges liked it.
And I haven't thought about going anywhere else.
There was one person in both Christopher and Devin Hodges' lives who needed some convincing about law enforcement.
My mom, she was like, whatever you do, I'm gonna have your back. She always told, she told that to my brother, because once my brother decided, like, hey mom, I'm going to the road, she was like, if I could, I'll stop you, but if you want to do it, and I'm gonna have your back.
I'm Fred Cunningham, and that's First Responder Friday. Zip trip to Gaffney continues. It's also First Responder Friday. We are joined by the Assistant Chief of the Gaffney Police Department, Jerry Smith. First of all, thanks for waking up to be with us so early this morning.
Yes, sir, not a problem.
You are a Gaffney native, or pretty much went to high school here. You've been here for a long time, obviously. And of course, the Peach Festival is here. Yes. I know a lot of people are going to be here over the next week or 10 days. What are some of the things you'd like for them to keep in mind when they come to have a good time here?
Just be wary, you know, take your time when you're coming into town, because there are going to be a lot of people here. Again, we just started last night with the kickoff party. It was downtown, but everything pretty much is going to be held at Jolly Park next to the admin building. So that next Saturday morning, we'll have the parade. It'll start at 10. Once that parade's over, everybody's going to kind of funnel down to the admin building in Jolly Park. The parking, that's what we want to really get into. Once we get the parade and everybody dispersed off the parade down there and they get into Jolly Park, which happens pretty quick, we've got some extra parking right on the other side of the admin building. There's some out on Railroad Avenue, and then we have Wall Street and Robinson Street. So just be wary when you're there, because there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of pedestrians.
Also want to talk very quickly, if we can, about an event you got coming up next month. You got National Night Out coming for Gaffney.
Yes, sir. August 6th. It'll be 6 to 9, same place, Jolly Park. Have a lot of our officers out there, and a lot of I think they're going to have some music and things for the kids and vendors. So
great connection for you to be able to build that rapport with your community.
Yes,
obviously.
Sir. Yes, sir.
That is tremendous. Assistant Chief Smith, thank you for being here. Not only that, but also thank you for your service as a former member of the United States Navy.
Yes, sir. No problem. Thank you.
All right, great to have you here on our First Responder Friday.
The Inman Police Department serves its community, but Chief Keith Tucker is more appreciative of the people they're serving. His department has 12 full-time officers, but the chief tells us the Inman community is always full-time, ready to help. He couldn't believe the assistance the city got recently. Dozens of seniors needed clothes and basics after losing their homes following a criminal investigation of the owner of their assisted living facility.
Chief, we appreciate what your department does, but you really appreciate what your community has been doing for you recently.
Absolutely. We had a recent issue up here with a community home, and we asked for donations to come out, and people, they excelled. I mean, we have been blessed with donations. These people have got new clothes, they went to a whole totally different new environment. Just went yesterday and dropped another pod off, and people donated the use of the pod, hauled it over there for us. And when we got over there, we talked to the people that was transferred over there in the residence, and they were all happy, and they were just living it up, enjoyed their new clothes. And it was just neat to get to see all of them get to use the stuff that was donated by the public here. And the community really, really stepped up because they couldn't take anything with them except what they had on their back. And without the help of them, I don't know what these people would have done. So I'm very grateful for everything that the public done and everything that the people helped with and all the outpouring support for it. And it's just amazing to see that type of help come from this. So, I mean, I really appreciate everything that everybody done. It's just amazing.
How does your officers interact with the community?
I think we do a good job. We get out and we try to talk to as many people we can. And just like this issue here, this actual location was not in the city. And with the help of the officers and the whole entire community and with everybody in the front office and everything, and the fire departments, we coordinated this in like less than 24 hours, and it was just overwhelming success. I mean, I really appreciate it. Just like our coat drives we do for the homeless. I mean, we cannot ask for anything better than the support that we get when we ask for that. So.
That's terrific. Well, Vance Mahaffey is here from Benson Hyundai. He's got a presentation.
Yes, sir.
On behalf of Benson Hyundai and the entire community, I want to thank you and your team for what y'all do for the community yourself. And I have a small token of our appreciation. And we thank you again.
Thank you, sir.
Very good. And that is First Responder Friday.
Those are just some of the people who chose careers with one goal in mind: to help others. You can see new editions of First Responder Friday every week on 7 News in our morning and afternoon newscasts. You can also find all of our previous profiles in the First Responder Friday section of WSPA.com and the 7 News app. And join us here for more episodes of First Responder Friday on WSPA+. I'm Fred Cunningham, and we'll see you next time.